Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel for today's video. So today I wanted to talk to you about a few things, why the narcissist blocks you after you discard them, and what it's like when you're with them, why you have so many problems after you ruminate on them. So let's jump in. So when you're with the narcissist, when you meet them, you have this opinion of them, right? They give you this facade, and so you think they're obviously somebody that they're not. And by the time you realize who they really are, you're kind of in too deep. You're already entangled, and they have such a hold on you by that point, because this is a different situation. The way that they do their push and pull, and the way that they build you up and break you down, and then devalue, discard you, get you chasing them and everything. This is where it all stems from. And what you have done is you let somebody into your life, deep into your most intimate details, down to your core. And these are not just individuals that are like regular humanity. These are people that do not feel empathy and also parasitic to you. They are hunting. They're hunters. They talk about them being on the prowl, but they're hunters. They are there to destroy, literally. They know what they're doing, and they know what they're doing. What they have done is they get in there, and then they create all this havoc. Slowly starts, it's insidious, but once it gets full on, they cause so many disruptions in your life. And you got to really look at the narcissist from whatever that they are telling you. You would be better off taking the opposite opinion or thought that they're giving you. I mean, if they tell you that they don't like people that go to the gym, that's because they know that if you quit going to the gym, it's going to make you less valuable. So they get you to stop going to the gym, but really their motivation behind it is to destroy. If they love you, you should take it as they hate you, because that's truly how it is. They're opposite of humanity, and they're opposite of whatever they tell you. Their speech is backwards. It's like, if they want to be with you, they don't want to be with you. If they're not cheating on you, then they are. If they tell you they're not cheating on you, then they are. Whatever they tell you, you would be almost better off taking the opposite version of it. So it's something that you don't want to do, is to confide in them. And when you're locked up and locked down with them for a long period of time, they cause all this cognitive dissonance. It's like things don't add up to what you're seeing or what your intuition is telling you. And there's so much of that, and there's so much of this pettiness, these petty arguments that start and begin, these raging moments when you just somehow slight them. You get to a place and a point in time to where you have no rest, and they get you in this circle to nowhere. You never get any answers, and you never know who they are. I mean, really, as a person, it's one thing when you can kind of size them up, but you're not sizing them up to defeat them or hurt them. You're sizing your partner up so that you know how they like to be treated in a regular situation. So it's what we call getting to know somebody, right? Well, you can never get to know a narcissist. You can't do it, because they are not intimate. They're not vulnerable. In fact, they cannot be any of these things, because these are things that come with the love sectors that are shut down, shut off. So it's not really something that can be taught. You see, if they didn't have it when they met you, they can't get it now. They can't get it. They're fixed. And somebody who's self-aware is somebody that accepts the fact that they are a narcissist, whether they want to admit to what they're dealing with inside, or they still won't admit to the evil that they do. Probably won't apologize either. And if they do, of course, it will be fake. They just gotten to a different level of the spectrum. And when the narcissist comes to you and then they do all this stuff, and then they're out to destroy you, and when they come in, they data mine you and do all these things, right? To get all this information, all this intimate information about you. So on their way out, they can really break you down, and they can run a smear campaign and have it look real to other people because they flip the script. But the information that they learn from you is somewhat correct. It's just It's just they flipped it on its head side, you know? And they did all of this reactive abuse. So if they have gotten you to act out or in public and their friends see it or whatever, these are things that they have manipulated. And it makes the situation look real and it makes you look bad. But part of that destruction and all that information that they gather when they meet you is because they know the situation's going to end bad. Because they've done it so many times, hundreds of times. And they like what they're doing enough. It's kind of like a fiend. But this is a drug addict with a huge ego. I think it's a little different because a drug addict typically will not sometimes have such a huge ego. And when you're talking with a narcissist, it's like a drug addict that is got the hugest ego. And they're all ego because they can't help it now. They don't have their inside voice, their intuition, no self-control. They have none of the 9 fruits of the spirit, and they don't have an inner self. And when you don't have those things, you're talking about dealing with an individual that is nothing but evil. So on the way out, they use this information to destroy you, but it's because they have to keep their image up and they know it's going to occur at some point. So they're pre-gathering, and they're not concerned with fixing themselves because it's like this, they can't. And in the situation with the narcissist, this is where I can't is true. And it's like, you know, people always say, you don't ever want to say you can't. Well, with the narcissist, they can't. And it's true. And it's a fact. Because when you anatomically shut things down and then they close up, it's kind of like a wound that closes up and heals. Well, those parts of their brain anatomically have closed up and they're permanently shut down. So those pathways that they're going through now are fright or flight type pathways, which, like I said, they're only supposed to be used, and they were only supposed to be used during times of getaway, times when you are seriously dealing with issues where you are on the run, a threat to your life. Well, they went down these pathways so much because they were quick pathways to get what they wanted when they were told no. Then they would find a way to devise ways around it. And when you devise ways around, when you were told no as a child, like, can I have that ice cream? No. So you're going to find a way to steal it, manipulate for it. But to do that, you have to go into these fright or flight sections of your mind. And they're not meant for that. They're meant for times when you're in danger. And when you're in fright or flight, it's like you're not thinking about love and joy and peace, because it's not something that's necessary at the moment. You're supposed to be running from danger. But instead, you're going down these pathways because you want to manipulate to get what you want anyway, because you believe you deserve it. Because you're entitled, okay? And this is where I get to, this stuff's almost like they're innately like this. I mean, it's just their will. They have no will to do good, even probably at birth or shortly thereafter, which would say that their spirit and their soul, their will was weak. And so, again, if you discard them and you block them, and then, some people will look into, whether they've been blocked or not, and then they're blocked. Well, they're just like playing games. And that's what they do, because they will do whatever. But if you were to deal with them after you discard them, a lot of times they'll tell you the truth about all of the crap they've done, just to smear it in your face if it's just one last time. I mean, just to be out to completely and ultimately destroy you. They run on an algorithm, and their algorithm is always very similar from one source of supply to the next. Like I said, they do increase their devious maneuvering or ways of doing things because they learn from the next source to the following source. And they up the ante. They adjust the mask. They make the story sound better. They make their lies sound better. Their manipulations come off more natural. And they learn new tactics. even if they've been doing this for 10 or 15 years. I mean, before you know it, they're basically a parasitic individual that's getting better at hunting, better at the takedown. And they wear you out. They wear you out is what they do. The longer you're with them, they wear you out, and then they break you down till you have no self-esteem, no self-worth, and they chip away at it. And as they do that, they are basically hollowing out everything good in your life, and they're coming to and getting to the core of everything that makes you good. They find everything in the core of who you are that makes you good, and they wreck it. They wreck it with words, with accusations. They make you feel guilty for, I don't know, maybe you reacted on them because they forced it upon you, and they're stressing you out all day long. But when you find an individual that either rages real quick, or an individual that breadcrumbs or gets you to react, or won't tell you a lot about their past, present, or future, or your intuition is giving you information. If you get love bombed, these are all keys to knowing that this is a toxic individual, but they get to the core of every part of your life and they find a way to destroy it. And then they destroy each and every one of those pieces of you at the final discard. And that's really why they like to break up with you before you break up with them. They know they're on cycles, and they just is the thing, they're fiends. So when you're a fiend, you like what you do and you don't care. You don't care anymore about what somebody else thinks or what you're doing to them. You don't care when you don't have any love what it looks like when you're done, as long as you walk away looking okay and looking like the good guy. And this is what the narcissist perfects. They perfect doing these sorts of things. And it's kind of like in a normal relationship. If you look here, this is kind of what a normal relationship would look like, right? There's how much evil you deal with, or negativity, I should have put, but then there's that much good, right? And a normal relationship's going to kind of generally be like that, tend to be like that. And every now and then you're going to have a little bit of maybe not evil, but a time where you're not getting along, okay, generally speaking. And this is what it is with the narcissist. So they start out with all good, very little bad, you see, when they're building you up on that pedestal. Then they kind of level it off, and there's still a lot of good, but they're starting to implement, if you look on that second line, a little bit of evil, or a little bit of sadness and a little bit of grief. But then when you get into the full devalue mode, look, you're getting a little bit of good. See that line? The line's what separates the good in the relationship from the bad in the relationship, or the evil, or the time where you're depressed or hurt, whatever. The time where the relationship doesn't feel good to you. So you see, what they do is, this is kind of how their algorithm works. They want to push that out. So the length of time. So they want to push it out, the length, as far as they can, until you pop off and you can't handle no more. See, they keep pushing the note when they get to know you until you can't handle it no more. Then they know how far you can go, right? So then what they do is they will give you a little bit of love, right? A little hot and cold there. But then they go back into this, and they know how far you can go lengthwise. That means the time. You might go a month before you get annoyed and you can't handle it anymore. Day after day for a month. Okay, that would be the length. So you can take a month's worth of evil from them before you pop off and you can't take it anymore. So then that's how they know when they need to breadcrumb you. But then they go back in there and they do the same. They know the length that you can handle. Now, how much depth can you take of the evil? Meaning, I'll take these evil moments and I'm going to dig in deep and I'm going to see how much hurt. So it's kind of like the depression, the sadness, the length of time you can handle it, and then how much devastation can you handle? And they push that note too. So they get the length and the depth that you can handle, and they build an algorithm on you. And then they start giving you a little hot and cold, and that's how they kind of figure it out if you were to put it on paper. That's my opinion of it. But that's all. They're always playing games, and they're always playing games to keep you in a confusion. Again, they torment. That's what demons come to do. They come to torment. What does the enemy come to do? He comes to torment. What is he the author of? Confusion. What is your relationship with a narcissist like? It's always confusing. It's never, you're never confident that you're seeing clarity. Never. Even from the start, from the jump. There's always lies being told, and whatever they tell you, you're best to take the opposite. You know, at the bottom, deep down in your heart, you know that they're lying to you. You know that they're going against your intuition. You know they're always causing trouble, and they know what they are doing. You know that if you run out of money, they're gone. You know if you run out of looks, they're gone. You know if they find somebody better, they're gone. You know if you're sick, they're gone, y'all. And they don't care. They don't care. They will step on you and walk all over you. They will smear you up and make you feel as bad as they can make you feel, and they won't care what happens to you. And if they do say they do, they don't. They just, if they are saying that, it's because they need supply again. They don't care. They don't love. They hate. And they like what they do. In fact, they perfect it. So, if you can give me a like, subscription, and thumbs up. Love y'all. Until next time, peace, we out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.